Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm your host, Brandon Vincent. In U.S. news, Obama administration officials said Thursday that they were close to securing a compromise agreement to help reduce vast trade imbalances, a step that could ease conflict between the major world economies over trade, currency, and monetary policies. Treasury Secretary Timothy F. Geithner said he believed the group of 20 nations, which will meet in Seoul on Friday, would adopt a new formula that would commit nations to reduce acute trade surpluses or deficits, even though China and Germany, among others, have sharply criticized an American proposal to set numerical limits to such imbalances. I think it overstates the level of disagreement about the challenges we have ahead, Mr. Geithner told reporters en route from Singapore to Seoul. For the summit meeting, we expect we'll see broad support for the type of cooperative framework the ministers of finance first introduced 2 weeks ago. A senior Obama administration official speaking in Seoul said the advanced draft under consideration by the nations in attendance would fall short of setting concrete targets for reducing surpluses and deficits as the United States had wanted. In financial news, like many Japanese companies, Nintendo recently reported a big hit to its financial results from the strong yen. But unlike its brethren, reduced exports weren't the main cause of Nintendo's first interim net loss in 7 years. The bigger problem for the home of Super Mario was the company's unusually large $7.4 billion pile of cash held in foreign currencies at the end of its fiscal first half, representing nearly 70% of Nintendo's total cash holdings. A strong yen affects all Japanese exporters when overseas sales of cars, electronics, and other products are translated into the Japanese currency, and Nintendo is no exception. The companies do whatever they can to combat the strength of the yen, which is trading near 15-year highs against the dollar, on top of hedging to lock in fixed foreign exchange rates, which Nintendo does on a limited basis. Many are slashing costs to squeeze out profits. Like many other Japanese companies operating globally, Kyoto-based Nintendo also makes as many overseas payments as possible with dollars to offset the currency impact. But Nintendo stands out from the pack by keeping large amounts of revenue in foreign currencies rather than converting it to yen. In recent years, the company has generated an unusually high 80% or more of its revenue outside Japan, largely thanks to the popularity of its Nintendo Wii game console and the DS handheld game system. With foreign currency reserves among the highest for Japanese exporters, that has exposed Nintendo to bigger paper losses on reserves when the yen appreciates. In international news, President Obama's trip to Asia comes at a time when major powers in the region are welcoming a greater U.S. role to counter China's increasingly assertive stance. Obama flew to South Korea Wednesday for the G20 Economic Summit meeting after stops in India and Indonesia. Recent military and economic moves by China are making nations such as Japan, India, and South Korea nervous about the potential for Chinese dominance in the region. I think that for all of these countries, the United States becomes the most important friend to have, the most important ally to have, because it's not threatening, because it's so far away, and frankly, it does not have imperial designs in Asia. But it is powerful enough to balance China, to make China somewhat cautious about being overly aggressive. So even Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore has said words to the effect of, "Look, it's very simple. We need a balance to China, and nobody in Asia can do it. And so that's why you need the United States as a key Pacific power."
Hi, I'm Chef Tony, and now there's a knife so sharp you can cut a pineapple in midair. It's the Miracle Blade 3 Perfection Series. This is my all-purpose slicer, the ultimate in slicing knives. You'll also get Rock and Chop, rips through ribs. Plus, you'll receive my fillet and boning knife. Fillet fish right down to the skin. And my Chop and Scoop. Chop parsley and fresh herbs in seconds. Watch, flex, and scoop right to your favorite recipe. And you get my paring knife. Curved to peel fruits and veggies. I'll also send you 4 steak knives. Call now and you'll get my Perfection shears and a second Miracle Blade slicer absolutely free.
But wait, we'll send you a second complete set of knives free. Just imagine, that's now nearly $500 worth of knives for just one payment of only $39.95. And if you don't think the Miracle Blades are the best knives you've ever used, just return them for a full refund. So call now.
In entertainment news, Taylor Swift became the youngest person ever to win BMI's Country Songwriter of the Year award at the Performing Rights Society's annual awards in Nashville on Tuesday night. She broke another BMI record for becoming the first songwriter to win Country Song of the Year 3 consecutive times, this year for You Belong With Me. Yet it was a bittersweet evening for the singer, who attended the funeral of her friend Jeff Lang the day before. "It's been a really emotional week for me," she told the audience. "He was 21 and I used to play my songs for him first, so I would like to thank Jeff Lang," Swift said. Lang was found dead in his apartment last week. Swift won the Songwriter of the Year award based on her recordings of 15, White Horse, and You Belong With Me, along with Best Days of Your Life, which was recorded by Kelly Pickler. In tech news, if guys can find a way to operate laptop computers with their legs apart, they might limit their risk of infertility, a new study finds. Keeping the legs splayed while using a laptop generated substantially less damaging heat in the scrotum than keeping legs together. Putting a shield under the laptop didn't seem to help beat the heat either. A hot scrotum is no laughing matter. The testes generally are 2 to 4 degrees Celsius cooler than the standard body temperature, a unique environment conducive to the rapidly dividing nature of sperm cells. Heating the area can trigger oxidative stress, slow the motion of sperm, and lessen their ability to fertilize an egg for weeks or months, says a urologist at the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio. In the new study from Stony Brook University in New York, 29 men ages 21 to 35 participated in 3 tests in which each man operated a laptop computer on his thighs for 1 hour. One test entailed keeping the thighs together while using the machine. A second required the same position but with a padded shield placed under the laptop. The third test allowed the men to keep their legs apart at a 70-degree angle as they used the laptop with the shield supporting it that was wide enough to reach across both legs and stabilize the computer. Each of the men completed all 3 tests but did only 1 test per day. Before each experiment, sensors recorded the scrotum temperature of each volunteer and recorded any changes during the session. All 3 uses of the laptop increased the men's scrotal temperature substantially from pre-test levels, but keeping the legs splayed limited this increase to about 1.4 degrees Celsius during the hour-long test. When the legs were kept together, the temperature rose by 2.2 degrees with a shield and 2.3 degrees without one. What's more, it took an average of 28 minutes for scrotal temperatures to rise 1 degree Celsius when the men had their legs apart, but only 14 minutes to increase that much when the legs were together with the shield, and 11 minutes with the legs together and no shield at all. In green news, repair is one of the few things that is better than recycling. Sure, it's all right to recycle, but it's even more gratifying to repair things yourself. Thankfully, it's gotten easier with global repair community sites like iFixit, a do-it-yourself treasure trove of repair guides, forums, parts, and more. iFixit is now taking their fight to the streets with their newly minted self-repair manifesto, which contains many declarations like, "If you can't fix it, you don't own it." They're looking to have their poster up in every workshop, garage, and hackerspace out there. It's a rallying call to take back our right to repair. iFixit is looking for people to print and put up the poster and geotag it for their Flickr pool, in addition to 1,500 free posters being given out.